orders have been raised. And as the chair, you have not corrected this behavior, and it seems like you're encouraging it because it comes from certain quarters. Can you be fair as the chair? We're just asking for that.
Honourable Member, if you can just take a look at the rules and read all of the rules together and not just rules individually on their own. And I'll draw your attention to Rule 57.4, which says the presiding officer, and this part's important, may at his or her discretion allow members to address the presiding officer briefly on a point of order that has been raised. It's been consistently applied. Thank you, honourable members. Honourable Minister, if I can ask you to continue with your speech, please.
Thank you, House Chair. It is the only opportunity Honorable Nomvalo can speak. The ANC adopted seminal document, Ready to Govern, just before 1994 elections. And I quote, it said with regards to the mixed economy, the balance of evidence will guide the decision for or against various economic policy measures. Such flexible means assessing the balance of evidence and restructuring the public sector to carry out national goals. The supreme unelected leader of the MK party was part of the ANC leadership that adopted this policy document. It goes on to say, such a mixed economy will foster a new and a constructive relationship movement and the private sector and the markets. The mixed economy policy is not an invention of President Ramaphosa, as the MK is claiming today. If there is a sellout, it's the supreme unelected leader of the MK for abandoning his principles for political inconvenience, for political convenience. President Ramaphosa would never get tired of cleaning your supreme leader's
Minister Lamola, if I can ask you to take your seats, please.
At ESCOM.
Minister Lamola, on what are you rising, honourable member?
Is Rupert is
Stop.
prepared to
What
take a
rule?
question?
Rule.
Nomvalo, you are
Stop
saying
manifesting, Nomvalo.
Prepared to take a
What
question?
rules?
Rupert.
I'm talking to Rupert's iPod.
You want to be seen by
Ice
your
boy,
father
not you.
here.
Rising on at
I'm talking to an ice boy of Rupert, not
Just heard
you.
the name of
Is
Rupert.
he prepared to
Ice
take
boy
a
of
question?
Kanta.
Honourable member, you are consistently breaching the rules. I've already told you, please, how you need to go address this going forward. You can put your hand up, be recognised, and then tell me on what rule you are rising and what you're wanting to say. Unfortunately, you are making frivolous points of orders that are not covered in terms of the rules. You are discussing points of debate. The Minister has the podium. It's his turn to debate, and I therefore invite him back to the microphone to continue. Honourable Minister.
Honorable House Chair, if there was no game of Chiefs of Sundowns and Pirates, I was going to take the question. President Ramaphosa will never get tired of cleaning the mess of your supreme unelected leader. He has cleaned the mess in state-owned enterprises, ESCOM, Transnet, SARS. The list is endless. ANC and societal renewal is in full swing and is irreversible.
He sold everything.
Umgameli uRamaphosa so ukhulumile nomgameli waseRussia ubaba uPutin ukuthi abasebenzisane ukuletha ingane. Ubaba uZuma azithengisile
namanga
lezo ingane sezisendleleni.
Point of order. Point of order.
Honourable Minister, please take your seat. Honourable Member. Honourable Members, let's respect the person raising the point of order and hear what he has to say. Please.
There's a hand at the back. Thank you very much, Chair.
weekend special.
Weekend special. Weekend special.
2 minutes.
Honourable Members,
I know
please.
weekend special.
Microphones. Member, please continue.
Anya weekend special.
Chairperson, reference to the specific law on casting aspersion. A clear aspersion has been casted.
Who is not a member of this house?
What one hand applies to members.
What rule is depending on?
Honorable member, I can hear you. Yes, continue.
And support my ANC.
Honorable members, please. Honorable member,
Mayor.
Minister of Social Development,
why
please
we're
mute your
40%.
microphone. Thank
That's
you.
why about 40%.
Honorable member, please continue.
Anyway.
Aspersion has been casted by mere mentioning of President Jacob Zuma.
Set out.
Someone
Which? Weekend
Honorable members, please. Honorable Minister, please mute your microphone. You're a consistent offender, and I'm asking you to mute again. Honorable member, Mr. Zuma is no longer a member of this House. And therefore, there's no such thing as casting aspersions in terms of our rules that can be drawn against him. But
have you heard my submission or you are just running in front of me?
Sell out.
Weekend special. Too much
if
ahead of
you
yourself.
have something to add, honorable member, you are welcome to continue.
I don't think you are
Briefly.
you are handling this process fairly. You are very biased. And I think we'll make an appropriate submission because it's clear that you are biased. You can't hide your bias.
Please continue.
For the end of the weekend.
Ubaba unjani othengisa ingane zakhe?
Hayi wena ubumnyama
Thula wena ubumnyama. Umenyana Rupert.
Out of order, Minister. You are out of order.
Honorable member, please mute your microphone. You have not been recognized.
Leading the house.
Ojani.
Umfana ka Rupert. Ice boy.
Bias when. No.
Wakhuluma mfana ka Rupert. Bell out.
It's like human trafficking.
Members, the lectures will be over.
Stellenbosch.
Baba Ojani.
wakhuluma uStellenbosch umntana kaRupert
Belungu Satan.
Kunjani ukudla igazi labantu?
Cima kungo 2017 babayizwe imali.
umntana kaRupert
Malihlulekile kwenza umsebenzi wayo.
Montachi, you have not been recognized.
Can't leave them.
Honorable members.
Don't love them.
Honorable members, you may not drown out the speaker at the podium. I haven't seen a point of order written.
Stellenbosch
I see a hand at the back, and then I'll come to the front.
Hlala phansi.
Sihlalo ngicabanga ukuthi
Asinqamanga.
uMr Lamula laphayana
What rule?
uyavuka uma
Bring the rule
Ayikho lento ucabanga a whole lot of nothing rule.
qala nokubo
Ani phapha niphaphi nina yazi ngobubi. Thulani namasela lawo.
Honorable members, order. Honorable member, please repeat your point of order.
We must start with the rule.
ngithi uLamula ukhuluma
What rule are you
Rule.
Alama rules.
Mthetho.
Sorry, honorable member, that's not a valid point of order.
Molauteo. Which
Please mute your microphone. Honorable Reddy, yes, I'm recognizing you.
Thank you, Honorable House Chair. I rise in terms of Rule 34B, which says that members must conduct themselves with dignity and in accordance with the decorum of this House. The minister, Honorable Minister, that stood before this podium has displayed a tendency that has brought this House into complete disrepute by pugning.
Demoted
I cannot speak. I'm on the floor. Please give me a chance to speak.
Honorable members, please keep your microphones muted.
These members
Speaker,
of GNU
order.
are very disrespectful. The minister must confine himself to SONA, his response to SONA and his portfolio. He should
abantwana bakaRupert baculela uRothschild
Thank you, Honorable Reddy. You've made your point, and I think it goes back. to the same ruling I made earlier.
Bantwana baka
We may not
Rothschild.
determine what a member puts in their speech, and we will then go forward. Honourable member in front.
Ibana ba Rothschild, ba binela Rupert.
Thank you very much.
Abantwana base-Ukraine.
Ibana ba Rothschild, ba binela Rupert.
Stellenbosch mafias.
Ibana ba Rothschild, ba binela Rupert.
Thank you very much, Honorable House Chairperson. I rise on Rule 57 of the joint rules, which is a point of order. And I'm raising this point of order on you. There has been consistent, people are just pressing the mic and speak without being pointed at, and they are raising frivolous.
What about ANC?
The ANC was
it is
doing
very
the
clear
same
who is
thing.
doing that.
You started it.
Honorable Chairperson, there's a difference between a person who is howling and heckling and a person who is... That's the example of a person who is doing that, Honorable Chabalala Lynchfield. She just presses the mic and speak. And we can't tolerate that. And you know who is doing that. The mics can tell you what is that. Who is doing that, but you're not taking them into task. Some of them are raising orders on the
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable
rules,
Member.
which are not joint rules. But you allow it, and we have been quiet all along. It can't be tolerated, Honourable House Chair.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. I believe I have tried to be quite patient. I've allowed both sides to air their views vociferously. I'm now going to ask Honourable Members. We have a few minutes left, not much. Please can I ask you to listen attentively to the speaker at the podium, to not interrupt with frivolous points of orders, to certainly not unmute your microphones when you haven't been recognized, to hear the debates and to respect each other in order to ensure that we can get through the last 7.5 minutes of today's process, and we can then go home and come and hear the President's reply tomorrow. Honourable members, please, both sides, let's respect each other sufficiently to hear the debates to conclusion. Honourable Minister, please continue.
Kodwa i-ANC ishayile induku lapha eMzumbe municipality. Lapho i-MK party be-40%.
Soyapapa futhi. Soyapapa mfana kaRupert.
Ithatha iward lapha eMzumbe. I-MK party ithole i-ANC ishayile
portfolio
eMzumbe municipality. Lapho i-MK party be-40%. Siwawile kahle njengamalengisi. Ithatha iward lapha eMzumbe. I-MK party ithole
khuluma portfolio
Anwinanga kwilikade
singakawarigi siwawile kahle njengamalengisi. Siyabonga umphakathi waseMzumbe. That was displayed by Honorable Dlalo. The wealth yabantu at the time when the wealth was in thrones of
Anwinanga kwilikade Mzumbe.
Honorable Zamani said we should keep hope alive. May I take this opportunity to convey condolences to his family that was displayed by Honorable Dlalo. The world president, at the time when the world of the nation was in thrones of the Cold War, used the life of Reverend Jesse Jackson, a word that we should keep hope alive. And may I take this opportunity to convey condolences to his family, Honorable Human Rights Movement, and Honorable Trolley. Mr. President, when you delivered the State of the Nation address last Munich, you spoke of a world in turmoil. We heard a world where the strong call to revive the old where the trade empire is used as a weapon. Around that same time, Honorable Muda and Honorable built a new Munich Security Conference was taking place in Munich. The very antithesis of the right to self-determination message and recognition to revive the old logic of empire as we debate Mr. Rubio. A longing for days of colonial domination. An appeal to build a new alliance rooted in conquest, invasion, and plunder. the very antithesis of the right to self-determination and recognition of our sovereignty. As we debate the State of the Nation address and the direction of our country, those calls for a new Western century are too loud to ignore. Faced with these calls, we must reaffirm that we have always known Africa is our destiny and Africa is our future. We have reaffirmed this position through the G20, where we confirmed that critical minerals must beneficiate the people of Africa, a compact on AI to benefit the youthful continent of Africa, that digital transformation must benefit the youth of this continent. We have done so for the African child. Honorable Mulder, unlike the FF+, our principled human rights commission, our principled human rights outlook, favors all South Africans, irrespective of color. We do not only speak for the privileged white minority or only for black South Africans or for any colored nationality. We speak for all South Africans because we have a responsibility to lead our country. We speak for all South Africans on Gaza. We speak for all South Africans on Ukraine and Russia to build a peaceful society. We have been consistent even at the UN General Assembly to speak about the sovereignty and the UN Charter. You yourself, your party, only speak for white supremacists. We are very clear as the ANC-led government that our responsibility is to all South Africans. And we will continue to do so to build a nation united in our diversity. To build a united nation means that we must ensure that the economy is inclusive. The World Bank's report has stated that South Africa's economy is not inclusive because the majority of black South Africans are excluded from the economy. It is against this background that BEE must continue to empower and to bring into the economy the majority of the marginalized and the excluded. Therefore, BEE is a constitutional imperative. It cannot be abandoned at the altar of political expediency. The GNU does not mean the bearing of BEE. Neither does the GNU supersede the Constitution, because black economic empowerment, affirmative action, is a constitutional imperative. This must sink in even to the Democratic Alliance. We are in alliance to transform this country in line with the Constitution. There is no document that supersedes the South African Constitution, even the statement of intent. It is against this background that all states shows that BEE has benefited majority of South Africans, not as it was claimed in this podium, that it has only benefited a few political elites. And the stats are there. The Banking Association of South Africa shows that since 2000s, JSE listed companies have devoted about 320 billion to BEE efforts.
It's
and
your
this has
GNU
benefited
partner.
a broad range of South Africans, not just a few political allies. About 2/3 are strategic investments in partnerships, various individuals, and new businesses. 20% is community development, and 15% is staff benefits. These are a broad range of South Africans. Therefore, we must continue with our efforts of growing the economy. We have also grown our exports through export and import diversification. Our strategy is yielding fruits in Southeast Asia, in Asia, in China, and across the globe, including in the African continent.
You want to
Our
privatize
trade
the railway.
diversification is really gaining grounds.
They're privatizing the ports as well.
And our agricultural exports have also shown improvements.
Please take your seat, Minister. Honourable Dugmore, what is your point of order?
My colleague, Honourable Mhlawuli, raised a very clear point where he called a point of order on you, Chair. You are now seeing people speaking without recognizing, and you're allowing
One
it.
point, having us.
You actually are undermining our speaker. because you are allowing people to do exactly what you have said.
Point
you would
figures, we're
not
not your
allow.
boys.
There we are. So can you please act
We are not your
and
boys,
name
Chief. Don't
name the
configure
members?
us. We are not
On
your
what
boys here.
point are you rising?
Honorable member. Honorable member, you have a pink tie and scratching your head right now. It's your final warning, sir. Once more and you will be out of the House. Thank you. Honorable Minister, please continue. Honorable Minister, one moment. What is your point of order, sir?
No, thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I appeal for your consistency. You are not applying those rules fairly.
What rule?
Honorable member. Honorable member.
No, wait for me.
I have been consistent
No, but
throughout.
wait for me. You don't know what I'm going to say. This noise started last night, and we've been telling you that they are disrupting our speakers. You did nothing. Now we are warning our members. We have not warned them. You must be consistent.
Stop crying. Honorable member, I did indicate members on this side of the House when they unmuted without permission. I've done so on this side of the House as well. I have tried to be as consistent as I possibly can as I notice microphones being switched on. Honorable member, your point.
Chairperson, all these Kaizer Chiefs fans must let us go. Can we conclude the business of the House? We have a game to watch at 7:30. Please.
Retspelopele. Thank you, sir. Honorable Minister, please continue.
Honorable House Chairperson, leadership is not the art of chasing applause or inflaming anger. It is not about placing red overalls or stomping around in military cosplay. It requires a steady hand and the discipline to do the hard work of governing. It means making decisions that are not always popular, but are necessary to protect the long-term interest of our people. That is the leadership President Ramaphosa has consistently demonstrated. Leadership that unites South Africans, rejects populism, chooses responsibility over rhetoric, remains committed to the difficult task of building a truly united, democratic and a prosperous South Africa. It is against this background that President Ramaphosa never buried his head in sand when there are challenges in the criminal justice system. He appointed a commission of inquiry. When there are challenges in the Western Cape, he is bringing the defense force. He is not saying, this is not my challenge, it's for the DA. It's a collective responsibility. We must all stand up and build a united South Africa together. I thank you.
Honorable House Chairperson.
Ubaba unjani?
Inhluli Northwest Stadium. Inhluli Northwest Stadium. Zenthi 2000 Saturday.
Honorable members, if we can have order, please.
Honorable House Chairperson, on a point of order.
Honorable members, that was indeed the last input of the day.
Honorable House
And I would like
Chairperson.
to thank the President for his attentive
Honorable House
presence
Chairperson.
over the past 2 days, and also appreciate the inputs of all speakers. Thanks too to all honorable members.
Honorable House
Honorable Klengwan, what are you rising?
Chair, I'm rising in terms of Rule 47A of the Joint Rules. If I may proceed, if I may proceed, Chairperson.
Honorable Klengwan, I cannot hear you clearly. Please speak to the microphone.
I'm rising in terms of Rule 47A of the Joint Rules. If I may
There's
address
no one on
Chair.
the floor.
Please continue, honorable member.
Chairperson, I did not want to enter the fray of the chaotic points of order, but I think for the benefit of the record of this House, it is the Inkatha Freedom Party that won Umzumbe, not the ANC. Thank you.
Honorable members, if I can conclude. Honorable members, thank you to all honorable members for special delegates, representatives from Solga, House Chairs. Next time you must come to business of the day. Honorable members, the President will reply to the debate tomorrow at 2 p.m. This House is adjourned until then. Thank you.
Quick.
Phala.